Good evening, everyone. This is the Town of LaSalle Committee of Adjustment meeting for Wednesday, January 26, 2022. I'm going to call the meeting to order at this time. I'm going to take roll call of the members. I'm going to ask you to confirm verbally that you're present when I call your name. First is Vince Marcotte.
Present.
Valentina Bernoni.
Present.
Teresa Nicodemo.
Present.
Ryan Tufts, Planning Technician, Secretary Treasurer of the Committee of Adjustment.
Present.
Alan Burgess, Supervisor of Planning and Development.
Present.
And I'm your chairperson. My name is John Lee. All applications are subject to a 20-day appeal period. Any person desiring to appeal a decision of this Committee of Adjustment may, upon request in writing to the Secretary, receive a copy of the decision to be used for an appeal. The fee for filing an appeal can be obtained from the Secretary Treasurer. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest tonight?
I'd just like to make a comment. We have an application from a Margaret Marcotte, I believe. Just want to let the committee to know that I'm sure they're wonderful people, but I have personally never met them, even though they have the same name and have no contact with them. So I will not be declaring a conflict.
Sounds good. Thanks, Vince. Other than that, let's do an adoption of the minutes from the meeting of November the 17th, 2021. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Vince, second.
I'll do it.
Valentina?
Yep.
That carries. Any requests for withdrawal or deferrals?
None received.
Mr. Tufts, are there any deferrals?
None received.
None received. Thank you. I'm going to call the first application for consideration. A1321, file number 4126, Jake and Laura Morris. Laura, the owner, John Lucenti is the agent, and the application is for a minor variance to allow a reduced garage setback from 7.5 meters to 6 meters. Mr. Tufts is going to make a presentation on the application.
Okay, so we have minor variance to allow a reduced side yard for a proposed garage. The subject lands are zoned residential 1. The proposed setback would be 6 meters, which would be here to the side property line. The doors of the new garage would face the side street, which has a lower volume of traffic when compared to Maple. Their drawings also show that they can fit a car on the driveway, and their designer indicated that if they had moved the garage back to the minimum 7.5 meters, it would obstruct the existing dining room windows. We've circulated for comments, and Public Works has raised no concerns about the location of the new garage or the reduced side yard. So we are recommending approval with no conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Tufts. Mr. Lucenti, you may now speak to the matter. Please introduce yourself and a brief explanation of the application, and confirm that you have read and understand the staff report.
Hey, good afternoon. My name is John Lucente. I'm the agent for Jake and Laura Morris and the designer for the proposed addition renovation. We have read the report, and there's no further points that we'd like to make. I think Ryan outlined everything very well there. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Committee members, do you have any questions for Mr. Lucente? Seeing none. Committee members, any questions of administration? No. Having heard any comments or concerns made by administration, agencies, and the public, is the committee ready to make a decision? Do I have a motion? Teresa, second.
Second.
Okay, Val, all in favor? And that carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
You too. Nice bike, by the way.
Thank you.
Next application, B0122, filed number 4130, Giuseppe Giglio and Susanna Buack. Owner Clark Armstrong is the solicitor. The application for consent to allow to create one lot addition to the property at 4099 St. Francis Crescent. Mr. Tufts is going to make a presentation on this on the severance application.
Okay, so we have consent to create one lot addition to 4099 St. Francis. The subject lands are zoned residential 2. The draft survey shows the retained land, and the red would be the severed portion, which would be going to the property here, which would be the 4099 St. Francis. This lot addition will correct a conveyancing error when the subdivision was sold off. You can see from the aerial, it does show that a portion of the garage is actually in that area. No new lots are being created with the result of this application, and we are recommending approval with the condition of a survey.
Thank you, Mr. Tufts. Mr. Armstrong, as the agent, you may now speak to the matter. Please introduce yourself and provide a brief explanation of the application. And please confirm that you've read and understood the staff report.
Yes, thank you. So my name is Clark Armstrong, and I'm the agent for the applicant. So basically, as Mr. Tufts indicated, this is a relatively minor severance to correct a conveyancing error that was led to part of a structure that should have been on 4099 being conveyed to 4097 St. Francis Crescent. So I have read the application, and I think that that's all in order from my end.
Thank you, Mr. Armstrong. Committee members, do you have any questions for Mr. Armstrong? Seeing none. Committee members, any questions of administration? Oh,
Yeah.
Vince, go ahead.
Yeah, just 2 things, I'm sure, just to clarify in my mind. So the part that's being severed goes to 4099, and all the setbacks are met there. And on the property where the lot is coming from, that still meets all the setbacks for that house as well. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Having heard any comments, concerns made by administration, agencies, and the public, is the committee ready to make a decision? Yes. Do I have a
So
motion?
moved.
Vince,
So moved.
second. Teresa? All in favor? That carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, application file B1521, file number 4127. Application for consent to allow to create one new lot. Mr. Tufts is going to make a presentation on this severance application.
Okay, so we have to create one new lot. Lands are zoned residential 1. The draft survey shows the proposed 2 lots, so the severed and the retained. It will efficiently utilize existing services. This application was heard and approved by the committee in 2019. However, at the time, the applicants decided to close the file before they completed the conditions. Prior to the construction of the home, MTO does require a permit. So we're recommending approval and that the applicant provide a survey, a severance agreement, and lot grading, and that they have a year from today's meeting to fulfill those conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Tufts. Mr. Grattan, you may now speak to the matter. Please introduce yourself and provide a brief explanation of the application, and please confirm that you have read and understood the staff report.
Yes, good evening, everybody. Basically, this is a redoing of what we did in the fall of 2019, but because of COVID lockdowns and restrictions, and then a family medical emergency, we had to postpone the ID. It became a second priority. Now we're ready to proceed with this, and we just reapplied to basically do what we've already approved and what we've already agreed to do with the engineering department. If there's anything more, then let us know, and we'll probably agree to that too. So basically, thank you in advance for your pre-approval of this. That's basically all I have to say. You've already approved it, so
Thank you.
thank you.
Committee members, any questions for Mr. Grafton? None. Committee members, any questions of administration? Seeing none. Having heard any comments, concerns made by administration agencies and the public, is the committee ready to make a decision? Do I have a motion? Teresa, Valentina, second. That carries, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ryan, on the next application, do you want me to do it together and the vote separately?
Yep, and do together as one item, but then we just need two separate motions.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
We would need two separate motions, but we can do it all as one item.
Okay. B1621 file number 4128 and A1421 file 4129, file number 4130, Mark and Margaret Marcotte are the owners. Application for consent to allow to create one new lot and a minor variance for reduced rear yard depth from 7.5 meters to 6 meters. Mr. Tufts is going to make a presentation on the severance application.
Okay, so we have consent to create one new lot and a minor variance for a proposed house. The subject lands are zoned residential 1. The proposed severance, the variance for a reduced yard down to 6 meters. And this is the proposed building footprint that was provided by the potential purchasers to the applicants that shows the 6 meter reduced rear yard setback. For the consent file B16, the creation of the lot will utilize existing services. Should be noted when the alley was closed and purchased, it merged together. So that would be the purpose of this application. There's also an 8-foot portion of right-of-way in the front of the property that's still in the town's ownership. So prior to the certificate being issued, the applicants and owners would need to confirm with our solicitor how that can be sold to them and that would be issued. For the minor variance file A-14, the variance is being requested as they have a potential purchaser that requires a larger building envelope. There is an easement at the rear of the property, so no structures or overhangs could be placed over it, on or over. If they decide to construct a deck as part of the home, they would only be able to encroach into the required rear yard 4 meters. For the consent file B16, the conditions would be a survey, a severance agreement, log grading sheet, and a copy of the deed showing that they have obtained that 8-foot portion of right-of-way from the town. And then for the minor variance A-14, the condition would be a survey and that the consent file is approved.
Thank you. Mr. Marcotte, you may now speak to the matter. Please introduce yourself and provide a brief explanation of your application, and please confirm that you've read and understood the staff report.
Good evening. We are Mark and Margaret Marcotte, and we have read and understand the report. Thank you. We do reside at 165 Riverview and own the 175 Riverview and as 171, sorry. And as indicated by Mr. Tufts, we are looking for the severance of that back alleyway as well as the variance. Our potential buyer of 171 is looking to build a family dwelling, and due to mobility and accessibility issues, they require the maximum amount of living space to be on their main floor living. So our buyer has provided the plan as indicated and submitted in Mr. Tuff's presentation to allow that maximum dwelling on the main floor living. So as such, we present to you our application for the variance and to allow that optimization for the main floor living space. And we thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Committee members, any questions of Mr. and Mrs. Marcotte? Seeing none. Committee members, any questions of administration? Vince?
Just one question. When Ryan was making his proposals, because of the encroachment towards the backyard, the building of a deck or something has to be restricted. Is that going to be registered on title?
The easements would be already registered, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Because it's a lot cleaner if we do that now than somebody comes back to us 10 years and says, I didn't know that. So it will be on.
The easements are already there, yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Having heard any comments, concerns made by administration, agencies, and the public, is the committee ready to make a decision? I'm going to do separate motions on the two different numbers. So the first one would be for B1621, file number 4128. Do I have a motion? Valentina and Teresa. And file A1421, file number 4129. Do I have a motion on that one? Valentina? Teresa again? All in favor on that? That carries. Thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Marcotte.
Very much.
Thank you.
The date of our next meeting is February the 16th, 2022 at 5 p.m. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Vince? Second? Val? That carries. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.
Ryan, thank Rosa if you happen to see her. Tell her everything worked well.
I will.
Take care, everybody.
Thank
Okay,
you.
bye. We'll see you in